Saturday. I think I I woke up at like 10 or 11 a.m. because I felt like all my energy got like dispelled on that SmackDown show.
I took a
Um,
fat nap in the middle of the Saturday.
yeah. Uh,
It wasn't no
yeah.
ordinary
So
nap.
yeah, it was like emotionally draining in a good way. And I guess we could start our first segment off and talk about SmackDown in Chicago. And me and David were lucky enough to have an opportunity to go to SmackDown in Chicago, and it was an eventful one. And I feel like Triple H has said it, and I feel like I mean like just statistically the amount of shows that Chicago gets, even if it's AEW or WWE, like we get so many like eventful, memorable segments and things that like happen in the shows that appear in Chicago. It's pretty crazy. We've had when we were on Raw, we had the Cody Rhodes like Rock show up, like when it was like super hot, and then like he left, and then they did the whole getting his ass beat in the rain by the bus, like that was in Chicago. Um, I mean, the Rock Cena stuff that was here too. Uh, I mean, things that we weren't a part of, but it's part of like Chicago wrestling history. Bret Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, the double turn that took place in Chicago. John Cena's debut was here. Uh, you know, so many things. There were so many. See, Money in the Bank 2011, of course. Um, AJ Lee's first WWE Divas title win, even though at the time I don't think people did take the division in general too seriously, but AJ Lee and her feud with Caitlyn was actually one of the better feuds in that decade. Like actually something
Oh
that
yeah.
was interesting for the Divas division when it was so lackluster for lack of a better word. And it isn't like I said, and we've said this before. It isn't the Divas' fault. It's just that, and the women who were working for WWE, it's just the way that they were built. And SmackDown on Friday was one of the most, I think, anticipated SmackDowns of the whole year. And I think it'll probably go down as one of the best SmackDowns of the year, especially because I feel like there has been this kind of critique for Triple H. And I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I guess you can say there's a bit of a lull after WrestleMania. It felt like a little bit of a holding pattern for some of these stories and things. Not sure where to go with the women's division and their titles. The tag teams are doing okay. I feel like SmackDown's tag titles are a little better than Raw's, but I feel like this angle that came out of SmackDown is gonna really, I think, carry WWE through Survivor Series up to John Cena's retirement show in December, and then of course you get Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania season kicks off again. So AJ Lee, of course, if you've been living under a rock and you haven't been paying attention to the wrestling world for the past week, debut, or I keep saying debuted, and made that mistake when I made that video. Returned, re-debuted on WWE programming after basically 10 years of an absence. She left in 2015, basically retiring at like the age of 28. Um, and I think CM Punk's leaving the year before, and then him basically getting fired on his wedding day and all that kind of stuff, I feel like probably added to the decision for her to retire and focus on other passions. Um, but she left at a interesting moment in women's wrestling in WWE, because right around the time that she left, uh, the the horsewomen, like the NXT roster, you had Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Bayley. Like she was still there for that like very beginning of it, and she had some interactions with Bayley and that crew on NXT as Divas champion. And you can see those clips online. I'm sure people are resharing everything that AJ Lee did in that time period, where she was the most important women's wrestler on that roster for about 3 years in a row, I'll say, between 2012 and 2015. And yeah, just getting that opportunity now to wrestle with, um, the women that basically all started like when she left, and then had 10 different title reigns since, all established wrestlers, and now she gets to wrestle like in with women that like are seasoned and like spoiled for choice with dream matches. I'll say that. Um, but yeah, I mean the AJ Lee debut, and of course I want to start with the John Cena speech in his last SmackDown ever, allegedly. And his speech made me really emotional. I actually shed a few tears um, at my seat when he was talking, and it is kind of like to borrow Jerry Lawler's words, bizarro world, where John Cena got a gigantic ass pop in Chicago, and traditionally it's been a mixture of cheers and boos, and sometimes more boos than cheers in Chicago. Most of his career was that kind of reaction from this city, and I think I don't know what's in his heart, but I feel like it can't always be great if like you're a face and then you get that kind of reaction. But I feel like there was some level of respect, and he liked that he was getting such a strong reaction from us. Like he kind of knew what we were doing, because when the show ends, I think there was still some kind of like, "Hey, good job. We enjoyed the show." Like even when we show the clip with Ryback going through the ambulance, like people like that. They were cheering him, putting him through the ambulance. So I
Feed
mean,
me
even though
more.
he got booed. But yeah, David, what do you think? I've been rambling on, but what did you think of that SmackDown?
Thought it was probably like the best SmackDown in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely that. Even like overall like energy, I felt like it was just on par, or if not better than that Raw we went to right before Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. I mean,
John Cena wrestled 35 minutes.
oh yeah. I mean, I
They
didn't even
put out a Ring Honor Classic.
didn't even keep count, but yeah, that took
Yeah,
up like the first hour of SmackDown basically.
yeah.
And Chris, you were
Then
talking about
Bork.
the commercials. How many commercials were going through that one match when there was
Like unnecessarily amount of like commercials. Like there must have been 15 or something because it was just like an onslaught the entire time. I don't know if that was because it was like being streamed on like the Xfinity app that there were more, or was it actually, like if you had the cable box or whatever, is that what you're seeing? But I figure it's the same thing because it's live.
Yeah, I mean they wouldn't cut to commercial over something that would be important. I think they have specific spots, or referee tells them it's commercial break, and then I mean when we were watching the wrestling match in the building, you get like the lights basically they either go up or down, and it is like a visual cue that it's a break uh, for the wrestling match. So it definitely went up a couple times, and people were
Yeah.
complaining about it on social media. And I don't know why there was that much of a frequency. Maybe because they knew a lot of people were going to tune in, so they were going to get as many ad dollars as they can. I don't know. But yeah, I mean that match was great. I mean, he he did
I hope
like so
they
many Easter eggs. He did an edge spear. He did an ankle lock. He did a GTS.
he
I'm
went for the
trying to think.
RKO.
He tried to go for the RKO, and that was absolutely improvised because he was hearing them do it, and he was probably like yelling at Sami Zayn, like, "I'm about to try and do an RKO, reverse
Yeah.
it, or something like that." I'm
He did
sure.
an angle slam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope
yeah,
they upload that match like with no ads. Like you would enjoy that match, no ads. I think well everybody would, but you would.
Yeah.
That was a
yeah. It was
classic,
a, it
dude.
was a,
He was like, y'all like Ring Honor? Heard this city likes Ring Honor.
It was
a
so
Ring of
funny.
Honor ass match.
One of my favorite chants during that match was let's go Cena, Sammy sucks. So it was just like this back and forth, but they were both like essentially,
Pro
shitting
Cena.
on pro Cena, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, poor
Like,
Sammy.
yeah. I feel like he must have known, because if you're putting up like the guy that's retiring, and then I mean I wouldn't personally call that you're interrupting it, because you are giving him a title shot. So it could have theoretically been like, oh, babyface is coming in and giving him an opportunity for a belt to honor his US Open challenge
His
that he did
hero.
in like 2015 or whatever it was. Right, and then I guess like the crowd was like, well, we gotta boo somebody, so let's boo Sami Zayn, and then just I think what I was doing it because, well, it was one fun, and I think a lot of people do that too when they were booing Cena. But I think like for me, it was like we are always booing Cena for most of his career, so let's flip it on its script and then give him like a gigantic ovation, and then have the other person who's also a baby face just boo him and shit on him. And Cena, and then Cena's basically getting that kind of bizarre world reaction. I feel like it was very poetic too, because now the shoe's on the other foot. And yeah, I thought it was fun. The guy that was sitting next to us, he was like, "Why are they booing Sami Zayn?" I'm like, "Dude, have you never been to like a Chicago like wrestling show? Some people just do it because they're just being edgy or whatever." Because he was like saying, I wasn't paying attention to SmackDown for a while."
I was saying Boo Earns.
Yeah, booers. But yeah, I basically told him that I think he was like with his wife, who was like 2 seats down, and then they had brought 2 kids with them. But yeah, and then they had the whole match, and then Brock Lesnar, of course, showed up and just F5 both of them, left. Like, I don't know, like how, like just logistically and logically, I guess, like how does the match come together? Because Cena sees Lesnar, he shows up, and then that's it. Then there's no mention of anything, and nothing gets brought up between that and then this SmackDown, and then he shows up again, and just shows up, F5s both of them, and then walks to the back, and then apparently, and I think he says, "See you at WrestlePalooza, bitch," or something like that.
Yep.
And then the match just gets created.
There you go. That's all you
No
need,
input
baby.
from Cena. Cena didn't get any input. He just like got F5 for both times, and then just like hobbled to the back, and then that's it. And then they're like, "Okay, there's the match." I don't know. I feel like it could have been done differently, but based on like Cena's like 7 or 8, or now he has 7, I think, appearances left. I guess what else are you gonna do? And you want to
One's
check off
a
the
Bork
boxes.
match.
Yeah, exactly.
One
On the
more
list is
time.
like, all right, Bork match, check it off the box. We're doing it at WrestlePalooza, big ESPN PLE that they want to impress.
Oh, dude, freaking Lesnar knows how to do that Japan style too. They need to go all out.
Mhm.
He needs
They
to
better
be pure
do-
carnage.
They better do synchronized shooting star presses.
Just from opposite corners, and no one landing on
Yes.
anything but the mat.
Yep.
They headbutt.
Yeah,
Midair.
Yeah, they headbutt midair. And like, was it
Makes a sound effect like a cartoon.
was it Logan Paul
Donk.
versus no Ricochet? Who was the one that like just they both jumped at each other and then just smacked each other?
Yeah, those two.
Yeah. So just do double shooting star presses, and then just like mid flip, like their heads hit, and then just that'd be fun. But wait, when was Lesnar in New Japan, or did he do it like go indie for a little bit? I don't remember.
When he left the NFL.
Was this before his debut on WWE?
No, this is before his 2011 return.
Oh, so
whenever he came back.
So he had UFC and all that, and then he was doing a New Japan stint, or
Yep.
stint in Japan.
He didn't want to give up the belt to anybody, and he went home. And but he agreed to lose it to Angle.
That's pretty sick. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that match. I mean, again, like they've been feuding for a while too. I think when did he come back? It was like 2012, I think. And then he had the whole Cena feud, and that was fun to watch. And again, this was peak like we don't like Cena, and then Lesnar's here to like beat the shit out of him, and then he had his reign of terror, and that was entertaining. So I guess it's kind of fun to see it one last time. But I like Lesnar's cool, but I just feel like I don't know. I don't know if I want to see him in other feuds with other people. Like for me, I'm like after this, yeah, check off the box, but I don't need to see other feuds with him. I don't know. That's just me. Um, but
Who,
yeah, I
Bork?
guess yeah, Brock Lesnar. I mean, like what? Let's. I guess let me ask you, like when this Cena match ends, what do you want Lesnar to do? Like, where do you think? What do you think they should do with him?
Go away till it's time to kick somebody else's butt.
Just be like part time status,
Yep.
like a I don't even know. Like, it would I guess Roman Reigns would be considered part timer at this point, but I feel like he's been in pretty important matches for most of the year. He just doesn't show up in the week to weeks. So I don't even know if we need Lesnar that frequently, to be
Give
honest
him
with
like
you.
the
Like,
Taker schedule.
yeah, I mean, like that's what I would honestly give him. Just like give him Undertaker's schedule, big marquee matches, something at WrestleMania, I guess. Maybe the big four PLEs, and then that's it. Honestly. Oh
Nice.
yeah. That looks familiar. The dirt
Yeah, dude.
sheets and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure I read up on that stuff. And we'll talk about dirt sheets in our main segment of the podcast. But yeah, let's go back to the so we had the whole Cena segment, and then I feel like the middle was largely uneventful. And I will say that the women's intercontinental title belt currently, because it's attached to Becky Lynch, is getting more of a spotlight than the United States Championship. I feel like the United States Championship is kind of like Julia's the champ, but there isn't anything super interesting happening with it, in my opinion. Like she had a match with Michin, and like even the crowd was like so about it. Because like you're not really giving us something to really cheer for because there wasn't a real rhyme or reason for it, you know. And you had the Aleister Black and Damian Priest match that we kind of missed halfway because we were trying to meet up with was it Christian?
Yeah.
Christian, yeah. And I guess he couldn't leave his seat because he
On
brought
time.
his entire family in the row, and I guess he just didn't want to deal with that stuff. So yeah, we just got some beers, and then by the time the match ended, we were back in our seats. But
$40 beer.
uh, $18 beer plus tax because I just got a Coors Light. And I mean for
$20
David, I
beer.
mean that THC was probably working, so I don't think we honestly just had like one beer each.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I had a
did a little pregame
truly
party.
unruly and a half, and
Yes,
the
truly
lollipop
unruly. Yeah, you had a truly
and the
unruly
syrup.
mixed in with THC.
Damn.
Whole body
Uh,
vibrating.
I was like, well, we don't need like $40 beers. Let's just pregame a bit before here, and then we ordered the Uber, and then
Don't
we
mind
got
if I do.
into an MLM conversation on the way to the show, which was fun. But yeah, she got us there on time. We beat the traffic because you know how when you're heading towards the Allstate Arena, and I feel like it's either or. If we're driving from our direction or from like your house, there's always a line for people who want to get into the parking lot, and there's just like red on Google Maps all the way. And she did this giant U-ey and then just kind of cut around, zigzagged, and dropped us off at the Target, like I said we should. But yes, now I'm going on a side tangent. And yeah, so then the big thing that I feel like everybody kind of knew and was kind of hoping to see was the return of AJ Lee in the match. Some people were speculating, oh, it's going to be Rhea Ripley and CM
Aldi
Punk.
Gooker.
Gobbledygooker, right? You said that the lights were going to turn off and there was going to be a giant egg in the middle of the ring, and the gobbledygooker was going to hatch.
Book it, Paul.
Yeah, some people were joking that it'll be Randy Orton because in 2009 Randy Orton was RKOing women. I think he was like he RKO'd like Stephanie. He was RKOing. I don't think it was Tori Wilson. Maybe it was Kelly, but he was unhinged in 2009 for sure. He had like
Heard voices, bro.
Well, it was like voices, but the gimmick was also like he's an a-hole, and then he would have like these spurts where he would see just red and just like murder anybody who was like in his vicinity, including like Stephanie McMahon or Kelly or whatever. um, so yeah, people were speculating as Orton. Some people were joking about Stone Cold Steve Austin because of his own personal history. But yeah, it was thankfully AJ Lee. And I mean, the pop, I don't know like what it was like on TV, and I don't know if I was just hearing myself screaming like a schoolgirl, but as soon as like her theme song started playing, like the whole arena erupted. Like
I thought The Rock was there.
Yeah, it was like The Rock was showing up. It was magic, and it was really good. And also like just so like it was just such a like it just like a full circle type of thing where it's like you had both people leave WWE on bad terms. CM Punk comes back. He gets like he checks all these boxes that he had. He rebuilds bridges in WWE. He has all these like great friends and stuff that like he gets to work with again, like Kofi Kingston and Bailey, and teaching all the younger kids and stuff. Gets the main event WrestleMania. He hasn't gotten a championship match or a WWE belt on him yet, but I don't think that's even that important for him. And then now his wife is back in WWE.
For a second.
Yes, you're right. You're right. He did for like 20 seconds, but like I feel like that counts. Like that. And I guess my brain didn't count it because it was so brief, but yeah, now his wife's back in WWE. She hasn't been here for 10 years. She left right before the women's revolution stuff really kicked off. And now all these girls that looked up to her, like when you look at it, when you actually line them all up who had like similar gimmicks, like Liv Morgan, not Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, Alexa Bliss had it to a certain degree too. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of nuts how she inspired like some of these girls, and now they're all on the same roster. And just getting like there are so many dream matches that I could just like think of, like the entire like roster of like veteran women, like Charlotte Flair versus AJ Lee, Asuka versus AJ Lee, Liv Morgan versus AJ Lee, Roxanne Perez, Becky Lynch, fucking Trish Stratus came back again just to try and prove a point. She can do a match with AJ Lee. Hell, dude, go crazy and do a Lita one. That'd be wild.
She needs to update her moveset, I think, from the Divas era to who she'd be tangoing with now. I want to see some crazy stuff.
Arm drag.
Yeah, arm drags.
Arm bar.
But yeah, I mean, I've been doing my whole little monologue. But Andres, what did you think of AJ Lee's return, and where do you want to go from here?
Well, obviously the big leak that happened with WWE Shop kind of spoiled it a little bit there, but no, it was great. It was great seeing her. She looked amazing too. She actually like didn't look any different than when she like left. It was kind of crazy. Like, but yeah, the pop was well deserved. I was really happy to see her come back, and we'll see. I mean, I know obviously going forward, this is going to help continue going with the rivalry now with the two couples and stuff. So that's very interesting.
Mhm.
Becky Lynch was also part of that women's revolution too, right? So this is kind of like
Yeah.
AJ kind of stepping into that next generation of wrestlers and stuff like that. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's awesome. I'm glad she's back. It's obviously been, it's too perfect that she is there, So
Mhm.
honestly, like I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, Becky Lynch was one of those women in the women's revolution, and then this just kind of lined up perfectly because, yeah, CM Punk is in a feud with Seth Rollins, and I feel like she got put into this feud because somewhere between July and Clash in Paris, they got some kind of deal down, and I feel like that's why then Becky Lynch came in to kick him in the balls and then do this whole feud, and it just worked out perfectly. I think the tag match that I'm assuming is going to happen because they haven't said anything yet, but clearly that seems where it's going. And if I was them, I would do it for all the marbles, just to really turn it up to 11. Be like, all right, both your belts are on the line. If you both lose, you got to give it to the other person, or vice versa. You get to keep them.
That's what I was thought they were hinting at too, because she was running around right with the IC belt. So
She was, yeah, and I don't know if this is just a inkling of like, all right, I'm gonna pin you in a tag match, and then we'll just run this IC feud through the end of the year, because I think that's entirely possible, and that should be fun to see. I'd love to see like an established Naomi also, by the way, like fight her again, because when she first started with AJ, she was still like she was a wrestler, but she was still getting that like funkadactyl aura on her. Like she was not anywhere near the level that Naomi is now. So that would be a great like throwback, and just really cool to see someone that established now whenever she has her kid and comes back. Because that seems like an inevitability too. And like I think David, you were sharing some of the things that Naomi was saying on X, but yeah, she was having a blast, just like saying she was basically kind of like going unhinged and saying that Jimmy, her husband, has to sleep with the fleas tonight because AJ Lee showed up. Oh man, Chris, what did you think? What did you think of her debut, and where do you want it to go from here?
Shit, I thought SmackDown was gonna be a 3 hour show. I was like, why is it over already? It was like 2 hours. I don't know what happened after the cameras went off, but honestly, just made me want to see more. And as far as like the feuds, Becky Lynch makes the most sense now. But yeah, I mean, like possibilities are endless. I mean, there's just so much untapped potential. There's probably gonna be like NXT crossover stuff jumping on there. So I imagine she's on Raw because CM Punk is on Raw, right? Or is he on SmackDown?
That's what it seems like. No, CM Punk's on Raw. So
He's
I
on Raw.
imagine, yeah, and she's and this is gonna take place after Raw on Monday, but she's scheduled for Raw in Milwaukee. So, and yeah, because they're feuding and they're all technically Raw roster folks, she's probably gonna be on Raw for the time being.
Yeah, so it was good to see her. I definitely popped off the couch for that one.
What did Arlene think? I mean, she didn't watch it back then, right? So she wasn't that familiar with her, right? Or
No, because I mean, we started dating in 2014. I mean, she might remember we were watching around then.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, because if you were starting dating in 2014, I mean, that was also she was on the roster. I don't even know. I mean, I don't know if we were watching. Well, we were watching, but I don't know if you were watching it with her at that time. I feel like it was still kind of like two separate things. In your own time. But yeah, I mean, it was great. Yeah, I guess we'll see where this goes. Chances are that it's going to be a tag team match at WrestlePalooza, which takes place in, I think, 2 weeks, in a week probably.
The
when this
20th.
comes out. Yeah, so in like a week when this comes out.
All Out.
And All
Yep.
Out. Yes, also All Out is taking place. But I know which one's the more interesting pay-per-view.
They got a
Oh,
special
wow.
start time though. I think they're early afternoon now instead of like same time.
Yeah. Tony Khan blinked and then he had to move it because he didn't want to put it up against WrestlePalooza. And we're gonna delve into wrestling journalism a bit at the end of the show. But one thing Brian Alvarez I think made a good point of is I think WWE is just gonna fuck with Tony Khan going forward regardless. Like you're gonna move, you can keep moving your time, but there will come a day where WWE is just gonna see that you moved it, and then they're just gonna move their time to when you moved it, and you're not gonna move it back to 7 p.m. because then you look like a goober. So I figured, like you probably should have just kept it, and just to see, like how well you do up against, WWE. Of course, like I understand like business and you're being risk averse by not trying to siphon, the audience and maybe potentially have less money. But I think WWE is, I mean, petty. Is it petty? I mean, I guess you can consider it to be petty. Some people call it just business and just being competition, and you're just competing with an alternate product. But yeah, I think they're just gonna keep fucking with them going forward.
Wrestling's been doing it forever.
Yeah, I mean, and wrestling has been doing it forever. Like we keep talking about the Monday Night Wars, even though it died like 25 years ago.
Was it Starrcade was counter programming to WrestleMania?
As a for pay-per-view, I don't know, but even if you don't count pay-per-views, like we're like Monday Night Raw and Nitro, like that was head-to-head shit. Nitro would do petty shit, reading off, pre-recorded Monday Night Raws, so they say don't change the channel. So, I mean, it's competition, and it's been in wrestling's DNA for a long time. So this isn't anything new, but yeah, I mean, I think this was the first time that WWE and AEW were going to go head-to-head in a pay-per-view. Because I think they've done it with like NXT and Dynamite a number of times, but this would have been the first time that a pay-per-view would be going head to head. But he moved it. He was like, I don't want any smoke. I don't want to touch that shit. And he moved it up to the afternoon, which is fine because then, I mean, I don't know what our plan is, but then we don't have to do two screens. You could actually focus on both shows instead of just the one. But yeah, I think we can move on to the next segment with